Dude, this tattooed teenage alien fighters from Beverly Hills episode review is like totally intended for an adult audience.
And what was up with... Oh, shoot. Yeah. Hello there, heroes. I'm the Orange Ranger, and welcome to another Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills episode review. This is the last one for the next, 2 months or so? I'm expecting Beast Morphers to go on hiatus sometime around May. And yes, I will go ahead and confirm right now that the Beast Morphers 2.0 hiatus will be finishing the Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills episode reviews. Gotta keep Silver Skull off my back somehow. So, for anyone who missed it last week, last Friday, the 21st, was my 6th anniversary as a reviewer. My gift to you, the heroes who have kept me around this long, is getting the Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters reviews to their halfway point. And here we are. This is the second half of your gift. So, let's put this car in the garage by taking a look at the 20th episode of TTAF, Bully for You. But first, heroes, I'd like to take a quick second to ask that you please make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you see all of my videos, ring that bell, get your notifications set up so you know whenever I post brand new videos, and consider supporting this channel financially on Patreon or Ko-fi. Alright, let's get to the review. Where else would we start? This one actually has a pretty weird start, even for an episode of this show. Lechner asks Gorganis for time off. Time off from what? Sitting there? Every 17 Listen, Lechner needs to shed his outer feathers in a nest. Shedding gives Gorganis an idea, summoning Q Libra, a snake. Hoo boy, this one's gonna be a ride, isn't it? A bully, Dwight, approaches Swinton and demands his notes from physics class. Interestingly, Swinton takes the Ethan route at first, shoving the bully back and telling him he doesn't know who he's dealing with. But when the bully doesn't back down either, Swinton caves. The other Sentinels are standing nearby and wonder if they should help, but decide not to, because it might blow their cover as superheroes. Okay, this is something that's starting to bug me here. Does anyone, even them, realize that they're like 60-foot tall superheroes? You can tell from the size of the buildings in comparison to the monsters. But I mean, come on now. Defending Swinton from a bully is going to give away the fact that you transform into a 60-foot tall superhero?
Give me a break! Give me a break!
Swinton had not finished his notes because he came down with a real nasty case of plot convenience, so Dwight says he'll come back and get the rest. He stomps off, and I love how the crowd watching parts, except for Drew, who doesn't move an inch. Gordon is ready to flee and change his diaper, but their tattoos flash. Q Libra is back and meaner than ever, except not meaner this time. You see, we're bending the story around what the plot requires. At every point so far this season, when a monster has returned, Nimbar has insisted that it was stronger and upgraded despite looking exactly the same. This time, Swinton says the monster looks stronger, but everyone, including Nimbar, insists it's exactly the same monster.
I get it. I don't get it.
No, actually, I do. Swinton has lost confidence after his run-in with the bully. The other Sentinels talk him up and they head out there. Swinton's call of Apollo, a little longer and drawn out this time. You know, as much as Q Libra is supposed to be a snake, it's always looked like some kind of a weird dog thing to me. Apollo uses that newfound confidence to take the lead on the fight, but he takes a shot in the arm and shies away. Q Libra grabs Taurus, tossing him around. Taurus calls to Apollo for help, but Apollo claims that his arm is injured and he just can't right now. So Q Libra kills them all and Gorganis takes over the Earth. No, instead, Q Libra teleports away for some utterly contrived reason.
Villains are stupid.
I know, right?
Okay, I've got to take a second to mention this. Apollo makes the weirdest, dumbest pose while the Sentinels are portaling back. His arms are at this weird forward angle, and I think the expression in his eyes doesn't match his mouth plate, and overall it just gives him a really weird, goofy look. Okay, I have to give the writers the slightest bit of credit. They do try to explain why Q Libra ran. Lechner says basically it's the first stage of nesting for Q Libra, so it's sensitive right now. Lechner says that Q Libra will be much more aggressive later on. The Sentinels get back, and while Gordon and Lori mirror the audience's questions of why Q Libra ran, Drew checks in on Swinton. Swinton says he experienced some kind of weird power fluctuation, blaming it on the portals. Nimbar says there was nothing wrong with the portals. Swinton leaves, but Nimbar stops the other three. There was also nothing wrong with Swinton's powers. They explain about the bully, and here we get another really frustrating aspect of the show, the whole social circles thing. Nimbar says they have to help Swinton regain his confidence. They tell Nimbar that they can't because they run in different social circles and can't be seen in public with each other.
Now you see that evil will always triumph because good is dumb.
1. As Nimbar points out, this is the fate of the freaking planet. You can't be seen being nice to Swinton? Well, guess what? If Apollo isn't seen with you, you can't form friggin' Nitron, geniuses.
Okay, dude, calm down. Take a chill pill.
Oh, I'm not done yet. 2, you are seen together constantly. You are seen talking to each other at the school. You are seen together at the coffee house. You go to Drew's house together all the time. I know that I said earlier on that them not being friends was a perk. It was a perk at first, but now, you know what, actually I'm going to save it for the pros and cons. Let's just move on. Gorganis takes a weird tack with Q Libra here, trying to play nice and fool or convince it to fight. Q Libra has decided that Earth is a fitting nesting place, and she, I guess, can lay 1 or 2 million eggs there. Oh, and if the Galactic Sentinels were to come around, well, who would want them around her eggs? Quite a different tack for Mr. So I have commanded, so shall I be obeyed. Oddly quick scene at Drew's house as they decide to set up little fake scenarios around Swinton to help build up his confidence. The first is at the coffee house, where Drew pretends that the coffee machine is broken and asks Swinton to help fix it. However, Swinton fixes the wrong problem and actually breaks it, and in her anger, Drew can't help but call him a klutz, making him run off. Next up is Lori, who has made an arrangement with one of the other cheerleaders to go on a date with Swinton in exchange for babysitting her 4-year-old monster of a little brother. However, Swinton trips all over his words, even asking her to put out with him instead of go out with him.
What you gonna say?
Sorry, couldn't resist there. Anyway, she gets angry enough with him to throw a book at his foot and call the date off anyway. Swinton seems to catch on to what's happening here, telling Lori to give up on him. He's a loser, and he's already come to terms with that. Remember last week when I got on the show's case for doing a jump cut from one side of the hallway to the other? Well, they outdid themselves this time. We have a jump cut that's the exact same shot. There's a clock wipe and a little sparkle sound effect to apparently excuse that. Anyways, the idea is that Swinton is doubling back to his locker to check on something, but why not just have him do that right away as soon as the girls leave? Anyway, what's Swinton checking on? Well, he apparently caught on to what was happening right after the incident with Drew and had a tape recorder going in his locker. He hears Drew and Lori talk about the deal that Lori had made. Meanwhile, the other 3 are somehow back in the cave with Nimbar. I guess he summoned them to check on Swinton, and they catch him up. Lori realizes they've been going about this all wrong. You see, they've been trying to build up Swinton's confidence, but doing that for him makes it look too much like they're friends, and that would make them uncool or give them cooties or something. No. You see, they don't give a lemon-scented poopy about Swinton. They just need Apollo to get his game back.
S-S-H-O-L-E, everybody!
Gordon asked Nimbar if he can morph. Nimbar's exact response is, "I beg your pardon?" What Gordon means is making something look like something else, which is really stretching the definition of the word morph, and I think anybody watching this video knows why he chose that particular word. Anyway, his idea is to make himself look like Q Libra. The girls come out and fight him, struggle a bit, and then Apollo comes in and saves the day. Of course, it would be really easy for Apollo to kill Taurus in this situation, but I guess they would just portal him back first or something like that. Remember, retreats count as 100% victories for this squad. Nimbar can basically make them look like anything if they add its name to their call-out when they transform. So Gordon calls out Taurus-Culebra, and it works. The girls head out, and we get a slightly surreally comedic scene of them discussing the plan while 60 feet tall and in spandex, and one of them looks like a giant snake dog. At the school, we see that Swinton is so shaken now that he's hearing Dwight around every single corner before he gets signaled and runs into the bathroom to catch the portal. Gorganis makes some last-minute adjustments to Q Libra, but Lecter points out, hey, it looks like there's already a Q Libra on Earth. Gorganis sends the real Q Libra down to find out what's going on. Yeah, you can probably already see where this is going. Real Q Libra attacks Taurus-Culebra, and Nimbar starts bringing Taurus back. You'll see. So the real Q Libra approaches Scorpio and Centaur, who think it's still Taurus, and start the act, except to Q Libra, it is no act, and she smacks Scorpio aside. Swinton arrives in the cave, but he had this plan pegged as well. He says, "Oh, that monster looks very real, Nimbar. Your morphing techniques are on point." They even established that they had discussed them earlier so that Swinton could know that this was something Nimbar could do. Nimbar insists the monster is real, and Swinton sighs and decides to play along. As soon as Swinton portals out of the cave, Gordon portals back in, and now you see what Nimbar meant by starting to bring Taurus back. The two couldn't arrive in the cave at the same time, or Swinton would have caught on to what was really happening that much sooner. Of course, that means the girls were in danger that much longer, but as you'll see, there was a very important reason that Swinton couldn't know right now. Q Libra attacks Centaur, knocking her down. The girls finally put together what's going on and ask Apollo for help, but Apollo is leaning on some rocks thinking that was all an act. You see, this is why he couldn't have found out sooner. That shot is really funny. Anyway, Taurus portals back in, and now Apollo realizes that if all three of the other Sentinels are present, this must be the real monster. So he leaps into action, kicking Q Libra around. He then throws his hand axes and... oh, heroes. Wait for it. The axes fly by the screen, hanging from visible fishing wire. Oh, and it gets better, because Q Libra ducks the axes and they boomerang back to Apollo, still hanging on this fishing wire. We get to see that twice. I can't really be mad about this. This show aired on the USA Network and then NBC. This was NBC's response to Power Rangers. And we have hand axes flying by on visible fishing wire. It's glorious in its horribleness.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Clearly, fishing wire isn't going to cut it, though you can cut fishing wire. What was I talking about again? Anyway, Apollo zaps the monster and she makes her retreat. Apollo handled this all by himself. They didn't even need Nitron. They beam back and... Okay, y'all, sorry for another interruption, but I need to point this out. Nimbar has a face. I don't think it's intended to be a face, but if I may risk, YouTube, one full screenshot here. Okay, take a look here. It's got eyes here and here. This is a little nose. There's even a smiley little mouth. Of course, standard for the story, everyone butters Swinton up for the big victory, and he thanks them all for helping him feel better about himself. Weirdly family-friendly on the villain's wrap-up as Gorganis tells Q Libra that he knows he told her that she could lay a nest, and portals her to KO-73 to do it. Again, this show aired in 1994. How many ideas did Power Rangers take from this show?
Things that make you go,
Alright, back at the school, it's time for Swinton to show that he is more confident and has learned the lesson of the episode. He's gonna stand up to Dwight, make Dwight back down, not back down himself. They might throw down in the hallway, who knows? Or Swinton will have residual super strength, as we see when he breaks his lock, get snotty about it and ask Dwight to say please first, and then when Dwight punches him, it's like Swinton's body is made of iron, because that's how strength works. Okay, well now Dwight has been shown up, and he's gonna run away with his tail tucked between his legs, right? He demands the notes again, quietly saying please and saying that this will be the last time. But of course, Swinton's not going to reward this bullying behavior. Swinton gives Dwight the notes, and he walks off, screaming at a kid in the hallway as the episode ends. No, I need some time. Hey, totally? Yeah, you're handling the pros and cons this week. I need some Advil. I can't either. I'm just, no. Whoa, all right. Never done this part of it, but, okay, I guess. Episode 20, Bully for You. Pros, neat to have a little real monster, fake monster confusion, good with small details, and Swinton saves the day alone. Cons, be friends or be not friends. Sentinels are dicks to Swinton, and that ending. I'm with the OR, dude. I didn't really get this one. A lot of it seemed totally unradical, but there was some exciting stuff. Bully for You gets 3 shades out of 5. Nope. Okay. All right, I'm back. Thank you for doing that, by the way, totally. I'm all right. I think I've got a hold of myself here. This half of the script may have been written the next day after the first half, but read into that what you will. For some reason, having duplicate monsters was actually kind of neat. It's pretty common in these kinds of stories for us to get duplicate heroes. We've even had that once this season. But twin monsters and seeing the villains being confused about that, kind of a twist on the theme. This is a pro that's kind of built up over time. It's been doing this all season, but it's just a tiny little detail, and I just decided to go ahead and throw it in as the pro for this episode because it happens in this episode, and it's actually about tiny details. This show has done a really excellent job of establishing tiny little details that you might wonder about otherwise. The main example in this episode is Swinton knowing about Nimbar's ability to change appearances. How does he know that? Because they talked about it before, as Swinton points out. It's such a simple little thing, but again, Ninja Steel drove me crazy for not doing this. And the episode actually followed through on something I was hoping it would do. I was fully expecting Apollo to take the lead in the monster fight at the end, but I have to admit I was also expecting them to then form Nitron to seal the deal. But no, not this time. Apollo takes care of this monster all by himself, getting that much-needed boost of confidence. This team needs to decide whether or not they are friends. And as I've said, I'm totally fine with them not being friends. I think it's a very interesting subversion of the high schoolers with superpowers trope for them to not be friends and for it to have a more professional superhero feel despite them not being, professionals. The problem is that they embrace that idea and then go ahead and do stories where the team are very clearly friends. Drew practically embraces Swinton at the end of this episode, and while they're sarcastic about it, saying they only like Swinton because Nimbar makes them like Swinton, it's clearly tongue-in-cheek and they are very clearly friends. Until next time, when the story needs one of them to screw over another one of them, because guys, we don't run in the same cliques!
Shut up!
Tying into that one, boy oh boy is Swinton treated like crap by the other Sentinels this week. They stand by and watch a bully abuse him just to maintain their social standing. Now don't get me wrong, that is absolutely true to high school life, but it's not true to superhero life. And then later for them to realize, hey, we're not really worried about Swinton, we just need Apollo to be on his game. Swinton is Apollo, you slime balls! And what was up with that ending? Like I said, it seemed obvious even with the residual strength curveball that Swinton would show Dwight up, not give him the notes and stand up for himself. I kind of get what I think they were going for, the bully actually needing help in the class. But if you're going to do that, follow through with it. Have the bully tell Swinton quietly that he just doesn't get the class without these notes. And then Swinton can whisper back that they can meet at the cafe later for a little tutoring. And then Dwight stomps off going all, "You sure are lucky I have to go." This episode was trippy. This one has the seriousness of a bully threatening someone physically, and in the same episode, axes fly across the screen tied to fishing wire. The thing is, the weird charm of this show somehow shines through even this. In this case, this was a terrible episode, but that charm somehow brings it up to bearable. And that, my dear heroes, does bring these tattooed teenage alien fighters from Beverly Hills episode reviews to their final stopping point. That is right. The hiatus may be only 18 weeks long, I believe it is, but I'm committing to it. All 20 of the remaining episodes will be reviewed during the next hiatus. Hey, you hear that, Chrome Face? Write it down. I'm getting all 20 of them done, or my name is not Bariki McOscar Molly. And now, full force, we are back to the Power Rangers Beast Morphers 2.0 episode reviews. Let's take a peek at the second episode, Save Our Shores. A huge trash spill at the beach endangers the local wildlife, while Scrozzle sets about finding reinforcements. That is going to wrap up, as I said, this last, for now, Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills episode review. Thank you, heroes, so much for watching, and I just want to say really quick, I know this is already a slightly longer review, but this series isn't really getting the views, and I understood that going in. This was always going to be a passion project for me that honestly just sprang up from finding the DVDs on Amazon and being able to jump on that and just wanting to tell other people about this show. I've gotten some people saying they're looking into this show now. They're checking out this weird, wonderful little animal that it was, and I'm happy about that. But just those of you who have been watching these reviews, who have been leaving comments on every single one, I appreciate you all the more because it's not Power Rangers. It's not the latest thing that everybody's talking about in this fandom. It's something older. It's something weirder. It's something that's just niche and barely anyone even remembers. And if they do, they think it was stupid and silly. So just thanks for being there. I really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward in a couple of months to getting these last set of reviews out to you. Now that the video's done, you can make sure to leave a like down there. Click that thumbs up button and like that video. And while you're down there, let me know what you thought of this episode, as well as my review of it in the comments below. Until next time, heroes, I'm just going to do it with the other hand this time and try not to bump the screen here. May the power portals protect you. As Moogie Boo Boop, real Q Libra attacks Chorus. Morganus tells Q Libra that he told her he did. Of course, standard for this story, Swinton thanks everybody. Okay, back at the school, it's time for Swinton to show Swinton. Oh, by the way. And the problem, Drew practically embraces Swinton at the end of this episode. Isn't that cool? Tying into that one, boy, oh boy, do the Sentinels treat Apollo like crap this week. His name is Swinton. Tying into that, boy, oh boy, do the Sentinels treat... I almost said Apollo again. And that, dear heroes, does bring these tattooed teenage alien fighters from episode... Tattooed teenage from episode... what? And that, my dear heroes... And now, full force, we are back to the Beast Morphers point...